Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with The Nation. Amaechi, Fayemi, and I began opposition coalition. IG orders probe of Kwam1's Abuja airport infraction. Why I'm supporting Tinubu by Soludo. INEC begins continuous voter registration nationwide on Monday. Tambuwal EFCC hits back at ADC over unprovoked attack. Illegal 176 estates, diaspora depositors demand refund. How non-interest in finance sector can grow, says Edum, and national single window to take off in March. Okay, which story?
Okay, so let me just do the 176 estates. So the Nigerian chapter of the International Real Estate Federation, which is supposed to be let's leave it like that. I can't get the acronym correct. So they are knocking the Physical Planning and Urban Development Ministry in Lagos State for declaring 176 estates illegal. They said that this was anti-productive and, affected their businesses because most diasporans now do not trust them and they are insisting on full refund of their monies. And they said that government, who has the sole responsibility to save lives and properties, did this and sent panic to the market. And they ought to have convened a meeting and told the developers instead of, just going online and announcing this. This statement was given by the President, Atiku Abubakar. Topa has been taking these stories from the side of the real estate developers, but I'm yet to hear the side of them talking to themselves because it's not unfounded what the Commissioner for Urban and Physical Planning said. These practices are rife in the industry. Yes, if they have many of them, there are ways to manage post the event, their customers and give them reassurances. But it's also important to check within themselves to sanitize that sector. That's why you have ethics and whatever committees within certain foundations. Under the NBA, for instance, there are things I can't get away with.
You are right. But again, I always say the government too has a responsibility not to send this kind of shockwaves because there's a ripple effect that affects the economy of Lagos State also and even the country at large. So as much as they can have to internally regulate themselves, warn them, but your wordings must be very careful not to mess because people are refunding, not because
people
they need to refund.
Demanding full refund doesn't mean people are taking them to court. It's not an immediate kill or die situation consequence.
I just hope
it's manageable.
I hope this can
but I hope that they sanitize the sector. The sector is very, very scattered.
You're absolutely correct.
The level of fraud in that sector is worse than anything. So I would like to see them do more amongst themselves to regulate to give people.
I've been swindled, trust me. I know.
They should do that.
Any other story in the nation?
IG orders probe of Kwam1's Abuja airport infraction. So the Inspector General of Police yesterday ordered an investigation into the alleged obstruction of value jet aircraft by the Fuji musician Wasiu Ayinde Marshal. I know it's Marshall, but I'm saying Marshal the way he said.
That's how we say it on the street.
So as we remember, it just goes to tell us what happened, and we're all aware of, what we saw, and the Inspector General of Police saying that they are going to investigate these allegations and they will get back to us. They said it will commence immediately a thorough investigation into the matter to unravel the circumstances which led to the ugly incident and then ensure justice is served accordingly. And in addition, we have the story of Miss Emerson. That's the one that we've been discussing lately. As we know, she was arraigned by the Ikeja Magistrate Court and then remanded. And they said it was because she could not provide adequate sureties. And also, yesterday, due to some mix-up in her remand order, she's still being remanded at the Correctional Center. But we have Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Dr. Doyin Awolai, has confirmed that he'll be representing Miss Emerson, and because the family had briefed him of what has happened, so he'll be representing her. But we also have a lot of people speaking up. We have the Nigerian Bar Association, who has condemned the treatment that was meted out to her and says that the staff of Ibom Air behaved recklessly and violated her right to dignity. We also have an association of AWLA, sorry, I'm trying to find it. I think it's a Women's Lawyers Association, the Lagos branch, African Women Lawyers Association as well, who have expressed displeasure in the way that she was treated. They said that it was abuse, a violation of her dignity and fundamental human rights. So she seemed, given the updates of what we've heard, a lot of people think she was treated wrongly, and she seems to have a lot of support really from different quarters.
Yep.
So that's what
We'll make her rich.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Looks
I really
like
hope
that.
so.
Okay, so I have the story where the Anambra State Governor said, I support the president. The Anambra State Governor, Chukwuma Soludo, gave reasons why he's supporting the president, President Tinubu's policies and his re-election in 2027. They said he said this at a meeting where he wore the cap with the president's broken chain cap logo and a photograph of both himself and the president. He told the reporters that, and I quote, "I don't have any apologies about it. President Tinubu is my friend, has been my friend for 20 years now and counting." He said, "I support him. I'm impressed by the bold steps he has taken, particularly in the areas of the economy and structural reforms." He went ahead to say that that Anambra State Homeland Security Law in January marked a turning point in dismantling the foundations of criminality. And he also said that the deadly native doctors are on the run from the state because these are the guys giving false hope, deceiving our young ones and luring them into criminality. He said he highlighted the training and empowerment of 5,000 youths in the past year with another 8,700 set to receive financial support worth several billions of naira this month or next. Somebody Haka said between now and 2031, anybody can say whatever he or she wishes to say, but the space is already taken, occupied by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Okay, yesterday, following criticisms to the EFCC about the detaining of the former governor Tambuwa Aminu of Sokoto State, Governor Aminu Tambuwa, at the EFCC detention, the chairman of EFCC has come out, Mr. Olu Kayode, explained that the agency runs a non-partisan agency and they have a mandate to ensure that they have to be circumspect and dispassionate in the exercise of their mandate. And he's saying that, according to him, if I am not condemned for investigating both former and serving strong ruling party governors and ministers, I should not be condemned for also investigating opposition figures. So because people said that arresting Tambuwa was because of the ADC coalition, they were witch hunting them. And he said, no, he was just only doing his job. According to him, he said that the former governor who was detained in the headquarters yesterday was released at 5 p.m. and his passport was seized, saying that he can't travel any so that they can always get him for additional questions. The ACD had come out to accuse the commission of reopening dormant cases against members of the coalition in reaction to the coalition. The opposition party also alleged attempts to intimidate key opposition members by the federal government. And Olukayode described the attack by ADC as unprovoked and shocking, stressing that it underscored a blame game. Said it will not be submitted, it will not submit itself to blackmail or to discontinue ongoing investigations. And he added that the ADC unprovoked attack on the EFCC is handling cases involving political exposed persons from every side, not just the ADC. Okay, let's take the punch now. Health sector crisis persists despite 5.4 trillion naira World Bank loans. Court orders FG to close case in Dasuki's decade-old trial. FG dropped 60 billion naira fraud charges against ex-AMCON MD. Boko Haram scare. Borno villagers flee, sleep on Cameroon streets and schools. Picture story here. Migrants attempting to cross the English Channel off the beach of Gravelines, North France. NBA, others condemn Ibom female passengers assault. And 30,000 naira car race bet leaves 5 dead in Ogun. Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll look at the topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Who has a story?
Yes, I have Boko Haram scare. This is in Borno State. They said hundreds of residents of Kirawa in Borno State, displaced by Boko Haram insurgents, are now taking refuge in Cameroonian villages. And they are also lamenting their harsh living conditions. They said that Saturday's attack which prompted the withdrawal of troops from the community, has had a lot of them spread, across border villages in Cameroon. They are sleeping on roads, in mosques, and in classrooms to avoid midnight assaults. The district head, Abdulrahman Abubakar, confirmed the development and is asking for urgent government action to resettle the community and restore peace to the area. He said they can no longer sleep with their two eyes closed. There are people juggle between two countries, sleeping in Cameroon at night and returning to spend the day in Nigeria. He said this is the first time they're experiencing such an attack since their community was resettled some years back. In fact, a displaced resident has described the condition in Cameroon as disturbing and inhumane. He says, for example, on Monday night, there was heavy rainfall and many of the residents still had to sleep outside under that rainfall. And so that is the situation that they are in. It's really a sad situation. So they were attacked, the troops have left their community, and now they're just displaced. Yes, this is in Borno, Kirawa community.
So I have Dasuki's case, and I'm sure in this case yesterday, the Federal High Court in Abuja fixed Tuesday, 24th of September, 25th and 26th of September 2025 for the federal government to close their case. I'm surprised that the prosecution's side is what they are still hearing. So when they say close case, prosecution will come first and do all their examinations to establish the case against the accused. And that's what they have been doing for 10 years. This matter was Dasuki was charged to court over alleged unlawful possession of firearms and money laundering in 2015 when President Buhari took office. And he's been in court. He has not even entered his defense. They have not even heard his side of the story. This is certainly justice miscarried, because I wonder what kind of consequence will happen. He's not, he should be in his 70s, not by now. And so he's still in court. The trial judge.
Could have stalled this? Who could have stalled this? Refusal to prosecute us.
It's systemic. Because I cannot say that all criminal trials are like this. Even we have, we're done with most of our cases, but this was yes, it was a very signature matter.
Yes,
the government was doing.
But a lot of money was linked to this Dasuki.
A lot of Nigerians were looking towards the end of it.
Yes.
We are just hearing. Prosecution has not closed their case. So the trial judge is ordering the prosecution finish calling all your witnesses by that date, so that we can finally enter into defense and.
Okay, so there was they said there's a story. They said there was a 30,000 car racing bets which leaves 5 people dead in Ogun State. They said that 30,000 car race wager resulted in an accident that left 5 people dead. That's 3 Yahoo boys and 2 residents. They said they had a bet and they said the winner would get 30,000. And but in the process, one of the participants lost control and rammed into a nearby shop, killing 2 bystanders on the spot. Those ones stood and they were watching what was happening, and then the car just went and then hit them, and 5 of them died on the spot. And then they said they showed the there's a video where they showed the damaged building that the car had rammed into, and the occupants of the vehicle trapped inside, all dead. Let's just be careful with all of these things.
Young people.
They are so rest in peace.
Young people.
Daily Sun, we are investigating many governors, says EFCC. Says no sacred cows, corruption has no party lines. Marketers accuse NNPCL boss of sabotaging Port Harcourt refinery. 81 out of 1,888 female inmates on death row, says National COS, was NCOS. Access Bank strengthens Africa-Caribbean ties as ACTIF 2025 in Grenada. Ibom Air Saga, NBA, rejects passengers' life ban and will be furious. 16 inmates escaped, 6 officers injured in Kefi jailbreak. And Nigerian hospitals now where people go to die, says Anglican Church. Which story?
We have the jailbreaks break. So they say a few days after the Suleja, Kogi and Kuje jailbreaks, the nation has witnessed another disturbance in the medium security custodial center, Kefi. In Nasir State, they say 16 inmates yesterday escaped and 5 personnel of the custodial center sustained varying degrees of injuries. So 2 of the personnel were seriously wounded and currently receiving treatment at a government health facility. The Nigerian Correctional Service said that some inmates breached the security of the facility and attacked personnel on duty. In the course of containing the situation, 5 personnel of the custodial centers sustained injuries. They said, however, 7 of the fleeing inmates have been recaptured and they are now in custody. The Controller General of Corrections, Sylvester Ndidi Wakuche, has visited the facility and he has ordered a thorough investigation into the escape. He said no staff would be spared if found culpable, and he has directed the immediate search to recapture the fleeing inmates in collaboration with sister security agencies. This is just one more jailbreak. This is too many jailbreaks, honestly.
Okay, so still on the Nigerian Correctional Service, yesterday the Deputy Controller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service under the Inmates Training and Productivity Directorate, Ibrahim Idris, was fielding questions, and he said that there are 1,885 females across the country, and 81 of those numbers are on death row. Now, only 650 of those females have been convicted of their crimes. 1,235 are awaiting trial. They are just there. So he was also asked about how they are treated in the facilities. He said that they undergo pregnancy tests on their first day of admission, and subject to whether test kits are available. And then if they have babies while in custody, the babies are not kept in the facility beyond 18 months. Such babies are usually handed over to either family members or designated welfare centers. And whether they are treating those with physical disabilities well. He quoted the sections of the NCOS Act 2019 that provides for what is available, and says that there are no particular documents for protocol on how the physically disabled are treated, but they are helped by staff by fellow inmates on compassionate grounds. And they just quoted that, saying also they do their mental and physical health check, and is usually repeated for not later than 2 weeks upon admission into the custodial centers. I'm wondering, there should be a breakdown protocol. And then why do we have 235? There are several various ways that the courts come in to reduce congestions in the correctional centers. And I think one of those he should be writing. They should be writing to the state's government or the federal government as it applies to come and do all of those decongestion of the ports with other means, as opposed to keeping people awaiting trial. Some of them is just because they were unable to meet bail terms. It is sometimes too difficult for them, and some, while waiting, they repent and and become better people. So,
okay, any other story in Sun? Okay, moving on. I think we're running out of time. Let's take one final story. Vanguard, Ibom Air Africa, Comfort begins life at Kirikiri NBA waiting. 2027, I want to deny Tinubu. We've been friends for 22 years, says Soludo. 16 inmates attack warders, breach curfew prison, 7 rearrested. NMA raises alarm over mental health crisis among doctors. NSDC seals deal with four new operators to produce 400,000 metric tons of sugar annually. And Showore leads protests to NYSC headquarters over unjust treatment. Let's take a story there.
NMA raises alarm over crisis among doctors. So the Kwara State chapter of Nigerian Medical Association has expressed concern over the growing mental health challenges and well-being of doctors in Nigeria at the 2025 annual general meeting titled Mental Health and Well-being of Doctors in Nigeria. Had the chairman of the association, state this. He said, while we celebrate innovation and leadership, we must also confront a growing crisis of mental health and well-being of doctors in Nigeria. As we know, doctors are the front lines of care, yet often they face overwhelming stressors such as long working hours, high patient loads, poor remuneration, inadequate infrastructure, workplace insecurity, and violence. And he says that these challenges have led to an increase in cases of burnout, anxiety, depression, and even suicide among medical practitioners. They said there's a survey that recently found that many Nigerian doctors experience significant mental health issues. For me, this is worrisome. This is scary. These are the people that we go to when we feel like this. And if they are feeling this way, then where do we go? So whatever that is needed. So usually, you know, when they come out to ask for remuneration, for better working conditions, it's not only about the money, it's also about things like this. So we need to do better. And I took the story because you had taken a story similar to this. So this must be something that's quite concerning for the Medical Association, for them to keep repeating and reiterating it.
Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review this morning. Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we hopefully conclude on this Palm 1 story. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.